Don People's Deadbolt. Let's talk about it. So let's get into, man, what's going on in world news and what's happening abroad. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, Russia has just attacked Ukraine. Now, obviously, this has been building up now for some months in reference to Russia wanting to take back and get back against Ukraine. And the United States stance was, if you invade Ukraine, there will be military consequences. So what has happened is, obviously, Russia, along with China, which we'll get into in a minute, have now pulled Biden's bluff and obviously are not showing any fear about sanctions or any of these type of political military mind games that the U.S. is trying to play. Now, Russia has now launched an attack against Ukraine, and obviously, Ukraine not being in NATO, one of the rules about getting into NATO, you can't have no existing beefs at your borders. So obviously, with Russia being at Ukraine's border, Russia cannot, Ukraine cannot get into NATO. But the United States, obviously being the Captain Saver, wants to intervene and assist abroad and helping Ukraine obviously maintain its independence. But Vladimir Putin has issued a fierce warning against the United States, basically stating, and all others too, that if you intervene, you will be met with severe consequences, the likes you've never seen. Now, the type of look that this man had on camera was a look that I don't think he was playing. I think, he has full intent on taking over Ukraine, obviously bombing their international airport, taking key stations already over there. I think the United States hands are tied because this situation right here, and I think especially the difference between the 80s and, all the other times we were getting into it with Russia, we had a stout army, with fundamental sound people, people who were, ready, hardworking, bootstrap type people, you know what I mean, to go into the military. Now, I mean, come on, man, we are a joke. And a lot of the different things that, the United States are saying they're going to do and stuff like that, it's like Russia's not worried about that because, ever since I've been a kid, I've never seen a product made in Russia sold in the United States. So as far as I know, they've always been sanctioned and got by just fine because they'll just make their stuff, sell it to China, and then China will just sell it to the United States. Because no matter how much the United States hates China, which they do, they have to do business with China because of the commerce. And now with Russia and China making an alliance, it spells trouble for the United States because Russia and China, being two superpowers themselves, can create their own money, their own backings and stuff like that. They don't need the U.S. for anything really, maybe but entertainment. But both of these countries restrict a lot of that stuff. So, really, what is the United States in the way for? And, a lot of generals and, high up military are warning that China, along with Russia, are planning an attack against the U.S. And with them striking both basically at the same time, because China's about to also strike Taiwan because they're trying to take back Taiwan, how can the United States fight both at the same time? There's no way you can do that. So you can issue sanctions and stuff of that nature, but it's not going to stop anything. So the only thing that you can do is try to go to war. But how can you do that when you have a country that's made up of immigrants? You have Russian neighborhoods in the United States. You have Chinese neighborhoods in the United States. Hell, if you wanted to kill all the blacks, or at least 70% of them. All you got to do is put poison in the Chinese food in every Chinese hood and we'll be wiped out in no time. So we're the only, country that allows these type of activities to where other countries can come establish power structures over here in our country. So therefore, we're broke up from the inside. You can't go to China and go to a black or white neighborhood. You can't go to Russia and do the same. Like, it doesn't exist. You're not going through China and pulling up at a black-owned gas station or a white-owned gas station. Same with Russia. So, but in the hoods of America, you find the Russians and the Chinese with stores and all type of other stuff. So they've already infiltrated the United States. And China, with their technology, has already infiltrated all of our technology because they sell us a lot of our technology. And, with the apps like TikTok who promote ignorance in the United States, but reward excellence in China, it just lets you know that the enemy has their footprint all through our country. And, with China, there's a lot of oil in that region. So a lot of countries would be scared to go against Russia in that regard. So I think we just not in a good situation, because when you got these three, along with India, Venezuela, and other little countries that you don't really know about, all going against you and a few others, but you mainly being the superpower, you can see how this can get ugly real quick. And I know I heard a couple people online earlier, saying like, oh yeah, if they try to invade or something, maybe it might be a good thing, man. We can get our independence back. No, we would be slaves. So we would have to fight as Americans next to our fellow Americans to preserve this land. So it's no, let them win so we can, negotiate our independence. Like, nah, that's not going to happen. They're going to put us right back in bondage and we'll go right back into slavery. So we're going to have to fight just like the next person will have to fight. So this is something I don't want for my children. You know what I'm saying? Me having young kids and other people I know, war brings upon devastation. And one thing we've never had that is bound to happen is that having a war on U.S. soil. I mean, we've always sat back and just watched wars on TV and got to see the carnage, bombs being dropped and stuff. But what happens when that happens in New York City or Chicago or L.A.? What happens when a nuke is heading to the United States? Like, what would you do? Seeing all the tanks and stuff that were crossing through Georgia. People are getting ready. They're arming the borders. It's a lot of stuff going on that they're trying to keep quiet. And I think since they couldn't win with the jab, now they want to usher us into a war that we know we can't win. And ultimately, to bring down a superpower like America, you got to have people in place doing things like what they're doing to just run us right over the cliff. So at the end of the day, all I can say is, man, that everybody should be preparing. Of course, you want to live your life and do what you do because you can't run. You can't be scared of the inevitable. But just prepare, man. Stack up bullets, food, get you a generator, because it's going down. And we got to understand that. And I think a lot of people are now starting to come to that conclusion that we are heading off a cliff. But I want to hear y'all reply, man. I just want to hear what y'all think. Do y'all feel like Ukraine getting attacked by Russia, can this be the start of World War III? And if so, will the United States be able to hold its own? Or are we in for a big surprise, and should we just stay back and not try to intervene and, start something that we know we can't finish? But I want y'all to get in the comment box, man, and let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification tab so y'all can tap in every time I drop a video. It's your boy, Don Peoples. Deadbolt. Gone.